coming to you from Greenfield and Baseline here. Well, I'm on the Mesa side of Baseline. That over there is the Gilbert side of Baseline. And what that is over there, that corner used to be a dying and dead corner. Jack in the Box has been there a long time. Either late 90s or early 2000s, I think. But that, what you see across the street, you know, this part right here, that used to be a Bash's grocery store, which Bash's is a local chain. They've seen better days because they've closed a whole bunch of stores over the years. There used to be one actually right by where I live, but that one closed 2000, well, for sure before 2010 was when I believe that Bash's closed. But and the funny thing too is I used to work with a girl that when she was hired for the bank, she worked in the branch that was inside of that Bash's store. And I had seen their branch both before and after the remodel. But she used to work there, and then we wound up working together for a couple of years in Tempe. But there wasn't a whole lot in that strip mall before. Down at the end of that strip mall, there was a Blockbuster Video, so you know how those go. But this corner came back to life 2 years ago. Down the road about 3 or 4 miles at Gilbert and Baseline is a place called Amazing Jake's. Amazing Jake's sat in what was originally a home improvement store called Home Base that opened, I'm pretty sure it was the 80s when it opened. Because that's when that corner, that intersection was completed, really, when they built like the Smitty's and they built McDonald's in 1990. There was a Shoney's restaurant. There used to be a JB's, that's now a Black Bear. But Home Base was it was a home improvement store just like Home Depot or Lowe's. And they wound up closing. I don't remember when they closed, but their store did sit empty, and then somebody came in and brought new purpose to the old store, and they enclosed the garden center, and they created Amazing Jake's, which is like an all-you-can-eat pizza buffet with attractions. So there was, because I've only been there once, I'm going off the memory of my brother's birthday party in like 2005 or 4, somewhere in there. The place, from what I remember, had laser tag, rock climbing, astro bowling, arcade games, and a go-kart track, as well as birthday rooms. So fast forward to 2015, and Fat Cats opens right there in the former Bash's. They opened Fat Cats, Recline and Dine Theater. So it has like a pizza pasta restaurant. Again, I've only been to this one once because I don't typically go to their theater. But they have like a pizza pasta restaurant in there. They have bowling, they have arcade games. And the star attraction that makes it different from Amazing Jake's is the movie theater. They have 6 screens, and they are the plush recliners. Tuesdays, it's $5 admission all day for any movie. So that's when you definitely want to do the advanced purchase. But if you can see across the street here, across Baseline, you see a lot of cars. This place is always busy on the weekends. And, you know, I'm sure the owner of this plaza is happy Fat Cats came along because, you know, all the shops over here next to the old Bash's, they would fill up if, you know, whatever was empty. Like the newest tenant is the Native Bar and Grill, which is a local chain of hot wing restaurants. Better than Buffalo Wild Wings, in my opinion. Which I can't stand Buffalo Wild Wings. But they took over the old Blockbuster. Gecko Grill relocated over here from Gilbert and Guadalupe, and Gecko also gets busy, and I like their food. Our family eats there quite a bit. The other corner over there has new stuff, like that Chase Bank isn't very old, and that Shell station has been there since late 80s, early 90s. Because I remember that station having a Popeye's chicken inside, but we get later into the 2000s and they open Hobby Lobby, and they open, AutoZone is fairly new over there, and Culver's is new. There's a nice automatic car wash over there, which you can kind of see in the shots. This Check Smart was a Circle K, I believe, originally, but perhaps this is probably the other interesting thing to show off at this intersection. I hear there's still Gringos. It's pretty lousy Mexican food. I've never eaten there, but just kind of take a look at what I am driving past, and maybe you might get an idea of what this was probably going to be or whatever. Now it's an at-home furniture store in this large space. I'm going to swing around, further out though. And while I do so, here is other things that have been built on this side of the road. That up there is a Carl's Jr., and the newest movement here is Raising Cane's, which we finally have one that isn't on this ugly, cramped little intersection corner like the one at Stapley and Baseline, because their drive-through line is pretty unmanageable. So here's a view further out in the parking lot. At home decor store. And the funny thing about this at home is not what it used to be, but what it never was. They built this whole store and it was never used by its intended occupant. What this was supposed to be was a Super Kmart. This is going to be, one of those Super Kmarts with the full grocery section and, an expanded everything. Kind of like how you have Super Walmart and Super Target. Because in the 90s, the late 90s, we got our first Super Walmart in Mesa at Stapley and Baseline. Here's another view of Backcats. It was going to be a Super Kmart. Oh, I'm sorry. They built a Super Walmart. Smashing success. They would either build more or they would convert existing stores, like the Superstition Springs Walmart was expanded and converted to a Super Walmart. And then Target was going to build a couple of locations, and I've only been to one. Kmart wanted to build them. They built that store, but it never opened as Super Kmart. And in fact, this whole area here was going to be used for something different. All of these roads, this road here was laid down back in, probably the late 80s to the early 90s. Motor vehicle division's right here. As well as AAA. And the only Navy Federal credit union I've ever seen around here. And Fat Willie's, I don't know what that is. But they laid down these roads, and then what happened, they chopped this road off when they built all of this right here. There's still vacant land right there, never used. But this street I was just on actually used to go all the way around to Greenfield Road. And then there was another road where the QT now sits on the corner that continued all the way to Baseline, and they originally intended this to be an auto mall. But the problem is, after Superstition Springs Mall opened in 1990, more things started to get built around that mall, like Target across Power Road, which I do remember driving by the lot at night before Target was built and seeing coyotes out there. And this is Lena Home Furnishings and Terry's Consign and Design, relocated from Mama School on Broadway. But then Superstition Springs Mall gained auto dealerships as well, and so that made this land pretty worthless because nobody's going to build here now. And so eventually they built this whole center in maybe 2009. There is a vape lounge there. This is a closed Payless shoe store. Let's come around the side. And those two panels are not tinted because they were broken at some point. The star attraction of this whole plaza area, of course, is this Super Walmart. It's definitely a Walmart that I usually go to. And everybody I know who lives near us goes to this one. It's, you know, pretty safe, and you know, it's a very suburban area. And what's nice too is, well, they built this Walmart to be a little nicer because it's got the polished concrete floors instead of the usual 18-inch vinyl tiles. And the funny thing too is when I was coming home from Disneyland, I had stopped at the Walmart in Beaumont to use their restroom, and it shows that they did not care for their floors because of how dull the sheen was on the concrete, or how dull the polish was. Of course, if an earthquake is going to take the place down, why bother? TCF Bank, GameStop. But I thought I would show you this area so you can see that across the street there, the Super Kmart that never was and never will be, since so many of them have closed, and the only Kmart left in Mesa is the one at Superstition Springs across the street from the mall, way in the back, way far away from Power Road. It's amazing anybody even finds their way over to their store because you just don't really see them, not like, say, Target, which is much closer to the road, or the Chili's restaurant that's right on the, right off the main sidewalk there. And if you're ever in Mesa, check out, well, you should go to that Kmart just because on the weekends, at least on Saturdays anyway, some local go check it out.